Hello folks, how you doing? Good to be back with you. I'm going to talk about Neb Ankh. Neb means Lord, and Ankh means life, but not ordinary life. It means a higher level of life. Now, Neb, meaning Lord, can also mean breath, to breathe. Take the B off and put an F on, and you get Neph, breath. Or you could put a PH on, take the B off and put a PH on, and you get Neph, or you get the same sound, Neph. Okay, the PH gives you the F sound. Well, it means breath. So now we see that from this Neb Ankh concept, that Neb means, well, life. Or through Neb, one can acquire life. But as I said, this life is not ordinary life. It is higher intellectual capacity, higher perceptual capacity. And one of the main ways to attract this, or to accomplish this, is through breathing. Breathing exercises. The little imagination and meditation. This is open to anyone. Anyone can do this. So Ankh also means two. It means double. So we include double. What is the double here? Well, the two of you. That's what it means. The two of you. You have a flesh body, and you have the fire of life inside your true being. And they should always work in unison. And this Neb, Lord of life, helps a person do that through breathing. It has to do with what they call spiritual food. Let's see. Feed a man food, and he will follow you. If you feed him spiritual food, he will lead you. There's a difference there, right? Sort of turn things around. Well, how come people haven't been fed this spiritual food? They've been fed food, all right. But what about the spiritual food? It seems to have been denied them. Well, where are they supposed to find it? Well, you can get instructions through your religion. All religions teach this. And if a person is denied this, it could be from like a misinterpretation of the scriptures, or outright denial of this knowledge. You see. But people who are interested in such things can, for example, go to their clergyman and ask about these things. Because these things are in the scripture of all religions. That is, Neb Ankh, how to live life, or the Lord of life. It's there. All religions come from the same source. They all have it. They all have the scripture, the accurate scripture. And like I said, it may become a matter of interpretation. people need to sort of take things into their own hands and find out about these things, because they are your legacy. And you should uncover your legacy. Everyone should. So we have, for example, a god called Osiris. We've all heard of Osiris and Isis, etc. Well, Osiris was laying in a place called Sekhem. It's in what they call the underworld. Okay. And his son, okay, who had sort of resurrected and became a solar god. So his son goes down to Sekhem in the underworld. And he tells his father, who was there sleeping on a bier, supposedly dead, to rise up and to come with him. But the bier, resting on that bier, represents a posture, a yoga posture, called the dead man posture. You see, well, this has to do with yoga then. It has to do with the teaching of life. So the son had become Neb Ankh, Lord of Life. And he had come back for his father to come with him. And the father did. The father rose up as though out of a coffin. And he goes with his son. In fact, he assimilates to his son and becomes one with his son. And so together they become Neb Ankh. You see, this scripture is directly related to spiritual practice or the yoga practice. You see. And it has to do with a type of resurrection. Now, the son had become like a solar god. The son represents intellectual capacity. You see. And so we see this intellectual capacity has to do with Ankh. And the one who masters, okay, these practices become Neb Ankh, the Lord of Life. You see. Now, this father, okay, Source was God. God the Father. This is sort of strange. God the Father being raised up by his son. But when it comes to the human level, who is this God the Father? It is a human being, the ordinary human being, who took steps to become Neb Ankh. No special person, really. He goes through training. And he raises his level of intelligence. Then the God the Father, the one who said, "This is my only begotten Son," well, this intelligence that he has raised up within himself is the only begotten Son. And so the Father, the ordinary person, assimilates, of course, to his intelligence that he has raised up within himself through doing the yoga practices, or whatever spiritual practice they are, or whatever you might call them. But this is about the human being. It is not about somebody up there in the clouds, or some creature or some entity in the cloud. It's about here. The individual has the capacity, each individual, okay, to master himself and become Neb Ankh, Lord of Life, here, his own life. you see. And in such capacity, he is able to evoke within himself what they call the gods. Well, these are attributes. They call them gods or netters, you know. But they are attributes that a human being can bring out within himself. Like intelligence, for example. Well, that's what we were talking about, you see. So this is the Lord of life, the person who accomplishes this. And so the Father who says, this is my only begotten Son, is an ordinary human being who's made the accomplishment. Simple as that, folks. You know? You should have been taught these things. We all should have. You know? And when people are taught these things, when they say, well, not everybody would want to participate. Well, some folks will. Some people want to go the extra mile. But at least give them a choice. You don't deny them all through life. You know? When a person devotes his entire life to his religion, he shouldn't be denied anything. Give the folks a choice. You see? And if they say no, they don't want to be bothered, there's no hell waiting for them after this life. There's no hell waiting for anybody. Whether you practice or whether you don't, there's no hell waiting for you. But you may go through a little hell in this life. We all do, I suspect. Okay? But even practicing this, Neb Ankh will give you the insight to avoid a lot of difficulties in life. Okay, folks, good talking to you, and I'll get back with you. And have a lot more to talk about. Okay, bye.